Hi, I'm Mary.
And I'm Katie, and this is The Housewife Did It.
Pop Culture Edition.
We're back!
Yeah.
Woo!
It's like we never left.
Yeah. So, we're not really going to be able to play catch up fully for the week that we missed. However, fortunately, things kind of ran together. So, really what's important now is probably important then. So, alright. Some tidbits. So, Tom Sandoval announced, I would say to no one's surprise, although, it still came as a surprise when it happened, but that he is starting a podcast called Everyone Loves Tom. And the marketing for this thing is actually incredible.
Yeah, unfortunately, I agree. I do think that the ad where he takes his shirt off and they're like, nobody can see you on a podcast. I think that the people who are talking to him, they're saying nobody can see you on a podcast, you don't need to take your shirt off, are funny, but that whole ad is kind of cringy.
Yeah.
But the one where they are like, okay, these are some things that people said about you. What do we want to call this podcast? And he's like, oh, perfect. Mm-hmm. That's really funny.
I thought that taking the shirt off was cringy, but I thought that was the whole point.
I think so too. I just
too cringy for your liking.
Yeah, and I think that when you are so strongly disliked,
yeah,
maybe you don't need to be cringy too.
Yeah, true. Rumors are that Leah McSweeney may join the next season of Roni. On one hand, she's my favorite housewife that there has ever been. But I do wonder a little bit if that defeats the purpose of an entire recast.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do think Leah is much more similar to the new women than she ever was to the Ramona, Sonia, Luann girls. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it just seems a little bit admitting defeat.
Yeah, I do see that. I also, though, think that they do need someone who is outside of their friend group.
Yeah. Even if it's not an old housewife, yeah, they need a new someone.
Yeah, because I think that is what causes the most housewife drama is when there is a newcomer and they have to figure out how they're going to adapt to that.
Yeah.
And with these women, even though there has been a little bit of drama, they fix it so quickly because they are friends.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be good.
Yeah, I think that's normal for a pilot season though, that there just can't be that much yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, it could get more interesting. I just personally, I'm still loving the new season of Roni a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Jessel showing up for lunch that she invited Sai to, but 45 minutes late, is such quintessential housewives drama that it was nice. It was,
yeah,
I felt at home. Yep, there's a bitch that's really late to lunch.
I really do and also this is the first time I feel I'm watching a housewives show from its start.
Yeah.
But just because I really wasn't old enough to watch most of them from the start. But so I really like that, and I do think that we are getting drama from them.
Yeah.
It's just not year-long feuds type drama.
Yeah.
But it is still good, and I think that a reunion will be really interesting because I feel a lot of the drama is going to come from them watching back.
Yeah.
Sai
especially is mean.
Surrounding Jessel.
Yeah. True. But Sai's little diary rooms are, I think people are going to be sad.
Yeah. Because that's the other thing is these are supposed to be like a group of friends.
Mm-hmm.
So when you watch it back and you realize like my friends are like talking shit about me with their husbands, and my friends are talking shit about me in these interview rooms.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna be kind of hard to deal with.
Yeah.
I do love like how like Bryn's Instagram is so like centered around this show. Like she cracks me up when she posts something. Like, her captions are like, well, I guess it didn't work out in this way, but like look what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Like it's so funny like how like into it she is. And like how active she is, I guess, in talking about being on the show.
Yeah.
She's cute.
I haven't listened to it yet, but she was on Lala's podcast. And she talked about when she was on Watch What Happens Live with Tyler Cameron, and she was just like, basically that she was too nervous to like actually flirt with him because she liked him. But
cute.
So also I've been watching Special Forces. So far, Tom Sandoval, Nick Viall, and Tyler Cameron have not done anything noteworthy. So, that sucks. Black China, or Angela White, as she would prefer to be called, has gone home. She was really struggling. No one was shocked that she went home. I was a little shocked the moment she decided to go home, but
I do not watch Special Forces, but I'm gathering it's not like a vote people out type show.
You choose.
Like they're on it unless they decide to leave. Okay.
They tell them, so if you refuse to do a competition isn't the word, but a challenge, I guess. If you refuse to do it, you have to give your armband and go home. Or if you just like get fed up or whatever, basically you have to either give them your armband and go home, or they said the other option is you leave in a body bag.
Oh.
Yeah.
Lovely.
First episode, JoJo Siwa did get in trouble for not taking things seriously enough, which I think is 0% surprising. Also, though, in real life, JoJo Siwa went on Howie Mandel's podcast recently and shared that the whole group got in trouble by training staff because somebody pissed in the corner of their room instead of going to the bathroom, and that was Tom Sandoval.
Like, why?
I mean, their bathrooms are an outhouse. Like, it is an outhouse. But it's like, you peed in the room that y'all sleep in?
Right. That's the better alternative?
I'm guessing it was like nighttime?
Maybe.
But it's dude, that's like rude. People gotta smell your piss in the barracks? Like, what the hell?
Yeah. Like I said, I haven't been watching, but I have seen, like, JoJo Siwa says that she has, like, a group chat with Nick Viall and, Cameron, and that they're, like, her big brothers now, and that they're, like, really close, and, like, they text a lot, and I've also seen people kind of, like, I think mostly jokingly, but point out that it's, like, shitty that she's friends with Tom Sandoval. But if I was friends with somebody, I don't know if I'd be going on a podcast and being like, that person pissed in my room.
Oh, no, she was still wholeheartedly defending him. Like, she was like, we're not mad at him. Like, it's so funny. I mean, we were kind of like, Tom, you got us all in trouble. But also, like,
I'll be mad at him.
This is not supposed to be part of today's episode, but, like, did you see that she also was defending Miranda Singh's girl in, like...
Yes, I have seen that.
So, like, I don't know.
They're, like, really good friends, and they've been friends since she was a child, and so she's been like, no, that's not the experience I've had.
Yeah, so it's just, like,
But I also think if you watch the drama surrounding JoJo Siwa's relationships, like, do I trust her to give me a good leg to stand on with, like, which celebrities are good and which ones are bad? Not really.
Yeah. On Bachelor in Paradise, I'm just so pleased. It's just infinitely better than the franchise shows with lead. So, it's infinitely better than the shows with leads, but I must say, I stood by what I said, and I have not been watching The Golden Bachelor. I do have recaps from the internet and clips, so I'll mention them, but apparently how I feel about shows with leads is a moot point now, because apparently The Golden Bachelor is the best reality TV show that's ever existed, according to everyone. So I will stop talking about it now. Whatever. But on Bachelor in Paradise, the beef between Brayden and Aaron B. and Sean seems to have not died yet. Mm-hmm. Although, on episode 2, it's not mentioned again, so...
I feel like last year, the people who had drama in their season, like, prior to hitting the beach, I feel like it was, like, really, like, heavily talked about in the starting episode.
The intro, yeah.
And then it just didn't matter anymore afterwards. So I feel like that we're just going to move on from that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I remember we were watching it together and I was like, Brayden is like so 24 right now. Mm-hmm. Like being like, those guys just never liked me. Like, I don't want to see them. But like Aaron B and Sean are also being 24 right now.
Yeah.
Like bringing that shit to Mexico and just talking about it when you're supposed to be meeting someone, like, no, like, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Really.
And in this situation, you don't
if you want to give someone a heads up that asks, like, I know he's not a great guy. We don't have to run our mouths to every single person that hits the beach.
Yeah. And, like, in a place like Bachelor in Paradise, like, I don't know, I guess you always could, but, like, you don't have to date the same girl, so it doesn't have to be, like, immediate competition. Like,
right.
You can chill. Out. So, Will and Olivia are the first to kiss within, seemingly, I mean, we don't know how long, because it's editing, but seemingly within a few minutes of meeting. And somehow, according to the entire beach, this means that he owes her an explanation before he pursues anyone else on the beach. I am so sorry, but I strongly disagree. You both chose to kiss very shortly after meeting, so you have to know that, like, that cannot mean that much. And these girls keep talking about, like, well, physical affection means a lot to me, so, like, once that happened, why? Why does it mean a lot to you if it took you 20 minutes to do it?
Right. Like I said, we watched the first episode together, and I remember, like, we were kind of, like, looking at the TV and, like, staring at each other and being like, why?
Yeah.
Why does she feel so strongly that way? Like, that just doesn't, like, make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
For, like, Paradise, but also just, like, you really don't know him.
Yeah.
And, like, that's kind of what this is supposed to be for. And I feel like even, like, Kylie said, like, I don't want to mess that up when she was trying to decide who to take. She's like, oh, well, they've already kissed, and, like, I don't want to get in between that. And, like, yeah, but, like, they kissed, and they haven't really hung out since then.
Yeah, like, mess what up?
They're, like, on opposite sides of the beach right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's also, like,
it seems like they've coupled up.
Yeah, on a show like this, on day one, and, like, this is the same on, like, other shows like this, like Love Island and stuff, but especially on Bachelor in Paradise, when you know I don't know how to word this. You know the crop you're picking from. When it's day one and you don't even know who's coming down on the beach yet, like, no one is loyal to you. Like, his main choice could walk, and we'll get to this, but his main choice could walk down those stairs in 5 minutes, or like someone could get a date card in 5 minutes and want to take him. So like this idea that after one kiss, when you're the one that brought up sucking on toes, that's so crazy, dude. But it was, the weirder part was that everyone was on board. Like Blake and all the guys were like, that's just disrespectful. And I'm like, what does that, why?
Yeah. People are like, oh, he's shady. I was like,
weird.
He's not, though.
Yeah. I mean, he might be, but that's not why.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's silly.
Yeah.
I like the part where like we were both like, oh, I don't think that she's like right about that. I don't think he really owes her an explanation. And then she was like, apparently Will thinks he can go on a date without telling me why. And I was like, yeah, girl. And like, you kind of sound crazy right now saying otherwise. Like, he's not your boyfriend.
Yeah. So Will goes on a date with Kylie, which is what caused this beef with Olivia. Kylie has said over and over again that she is waiting on Avon and is excited to meet Avon. So to no one's surprise, after that date and at the end of the episode, Avon shows up. On an episode.
She had been saying, like, at one point she said, like, I don't even care if Avon comes. Like, Will is my guy now. Like, we had such a good date. And I don't remember if this was something that we talked about or if I saw it online, but during their date, they had, like, I feel like they do this date. Every first date of Paradise is them eating dinner in the middle of a water form. And Will falls straight into it.
Yeah.
And again, I don't remember if it was you and me that were talking about it or if I saw it online, but whoever it was like, immediately I would be in love. Like, that's so freaking cute. And like,
and there's no way he could have known. Why would the only way you can walk around that table be the front? Why would you assume that the front of the table is walkable and the back is deep water?
Right.
What?
And like, and she was so cool about it. Like, she like played it off with him. Like, they really did have a really good date. And so like, I was thinking, like, you know, if Avon doesn't show up, they seem like they would really enjoy each other.
Yeah.
But her saying, like, oh, I don't even care if Avon shows up anymore. Like, that is such bullshit, Kylie. Like, we all know it because, like, if you are that obsessed with Avon, that's all you've talked about in your interviews with your friends, like, it does matter if he shows up. Like, if he shows up, like, you're game over.
Yeah. And it wasn't like she was just into him from watching him on a season. Like, she thought he was into her because of their Instagram fire emojis and things. So, yeah, you weren't just going to be like,
which is fair.
Yeah.
And I appreciate her honesty in that.
Yeah.
Because that's normally something that would get you in trouble.
It's true. So, on episode 2, Kylie and Avon go on a date. She does have a conversation with Will beforehand. And basically he says, go, and I'm for you, and whatever. And then Hannah Brown shows up. As viewers, we all know that she is not there to date. She, like, we're like, come on now. But man,
the people on the beach should also know that, though.
Well, I guess they're thinking
have enough brain cells.
We've been sequestered just long enough that Hannah Brown must have gotten out of her long-term relationship and decided to come date on the beach. I don't know. But man, do they drag out that possibility that she's going to stay and date. Like, they have her saying so much shit that's like, I just want to talk to the men, and like, how open are you, and like, are you still available, and like, it's just like, oh man. And then the whole time the girls are going, oh, if Hannah Brown's saying I'm leaving, oh, she's here to date, I'm leaving, I don't have a shot. And it's just like, can someone just tell them the spoiler? Can someone just tell them she's not staying?
Also, like, I love Hannah Brown, but, like, why is she the one that y'all are like, oh, if she's here, I can't be here?
They always
Like,
act like that with bachelorettes, but not with
yeah.
Rachel.
Right, like, Rachel's been on the beach since... Rachel's the first person to hit the beach.
Which maybe is why...
Why...
Or maybe it's because she was a double bachelorette, or it's because everyone in her season didn't like her.
Yeah.
But... Matt James's mom... Oh, moving on to the Golden Bachelor.
Mm-hmm.
Matt James's mom did not make it past night 1. Also, it looks like her introduction included My Son Was the Bachelor.
Yeah, it was, like, sweet, though.
Yeah.
So I have been watching The Golden Bachelor because I think it's cute. And she said, like, she's like, I know that this process can work because, like, my son found love this way. He was the bachelor, and I, like, adore his girlfriend, Rachel. They've, like, been together for a while now, and, like, I just, like, know that, like, this works. I was surprised that she didn't make it past night 1. Part of me was like, okay, so production made Charity keep Spencer, but they can't make the Golden Bachelor keep Patty 1 more week at least. But I feel like for some reason they are not as inclined to fuck with Gary as they are as they are with the younger leads. And, like, on one hand, great, like, he doesn't have time to mess around, you know?
Yeah.
He's had he found the love of his life. He's looking to settle down with someone, and, like, he has children and all of this stuff. But also, like, why are we so okay with fucking around with the other leads?
Yeah. Yeah, it feels like...
doesn't mean they deserve to keep people around they don't want.
Yeah, it feels like they just, like, know he's, like, not gonna do it. Like, not gonna put up with the bullshit, or, like... I don't know, but it's like, yeah, all these other people, that doesn't mean they're in it for ratings. Like, they still want to find love, so I don't know.
Yeah. They also brought one extra woman on, and it was Jimmy Kimmel's aunt.
I saw that.
And by the end of the night, she had, like, fallen asleep. So I don't think she's sticking around, but it was funny.
Yeah, some of the women's intros were funny. A little more raunchy than I might have expected. Yeah. I didn't write down all of them, but one of my favorites was the Kris Jenner lookalike Susan showed Gary her shoes and said, I am comfortable with 6 inches. Ha 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 ha. One of the women, April, once they were in the house, in, like, the cocktail party, gave Gary an all April calendar.
It was cute.
Yeah. It looked so cute.
He was, like, flipping. He was like, wait, this one's April, too. And she was like, they're all April.
How cute. On the second episode, I saw that one funny lady, Natasha, was pleading with Bachelor Nation production to have chairs at a rose ceremony if you're gonna have a bunch of people over 60.
Yeah, I like watching the first episode, and he starts doing the roses, and I could tell that the sun was coming up. I was like, they had these, like, old people up all freaking night.
Yeah.
Talking to this man, like, the sun is rising. No wonder Jimmy Kimmel's aunt is asleep. She was like, this is some bullshit. It's bedtime. But I had expected maybe, like, either maybe that they start a little earlier and, like, that way it ends a little earlier, or to, like, break it up a little bit and, like, give them some time.
I would have just thought that with only 22, they could have achieved a little bit of a shorter night. Jeez.
Yeah, but they were up all night and then having to stand there and wait for the roses. It was a lot.
All right, on to Taylor Swift and a good bit of Travis Kelce. So, of course, Taylor Swift went to that first Chiefs football game, not the first Chiefs football game, but that 1st one that she went to, where she sat in the suite with Travis Kelce's mom. That night, she went out with Travis and the team, where it was originally said that she bought out an entire restaurant for her and Travis to have a romantic dinner, but it turns out that he must have bought out the restaurant for a celebration for the team because they had just won. So there's only one picture that seems to have made it from that night, which honestly, I'm proud of all you party attendees for not being vultures. Good for you.
Good job.
One picture emerged of Taylor canoodling Travis's head.
Yeah, and you can, like, kind of tell that she's, like, standing in between his knees.
Yeah.
And, like, holding on to him, which is
cute.
Like, there are still people who are like, well, people think Taylor Swift is dating Travis Kelce. Like, no.
Yeah.
Like, we're certain.
Yeah. They're at least dating, my friend. So she then attended another game in MetLife Stadium for the Chiefs versus Jets. This time, it was a whole star-studded affair. So, along with Taylor Swift, Sabrina Carpenter, Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, Sophie Turner, Anthony from Queer Eye, and some of Taylor's backup dancers all hung out together. They all hung out together for the game with Patrick Mahomes' wife, Brittany. There've also been a lot of videos of Brittany and Taylor talking where people are like, she's so sick of listening to her. And, like, that's not the vibe I was getting, but...
No.
Okay. Y'all just trying to be haters. Y'all are trying to be haters. Y'all trying to pin these ladies against each other. Chill out.
One of my favorite influencers on, like, TikTok and Instagram, her husband teaches special ed and is a football coach at, like, middle and high school. And so she always, like, posts, like, before a football game, like, her coach's wife, OOTD, and they live in Kansas City. And so at the last game, Patrick Mahomes, Brittany Mahomes, and Travis Kelce came. And she said, like, that they sat together and she said that they played, like, I don't know, Shake It Off, I think. And that, like, they were all, like, cracking up when they played Shake It Off, that he drove the same car that we saw him in with Taylor leaving the first game. And I feel like I've not only seen her and Brittany Mahomes in the same, like, area during the game, but I also saw them leaving a dinner together with Sophie Turner and who's the other person? Someone else. So, like, I feel like she is good friends with Travis Kelce through her husband, but I also feel like her and Taylor are getting along fine.
Yeah, and it looks like after that MetLife game, they were all drinking together, all the girls at least. So, like, back at an apartment somewhere. So I think they're
Yeah.
There are also photos floating around of Travis arriving at Taylor's New York apartment. I mean, I don't know what that means, but arriving, we don't know when he left, whatever. Travis did say on his podcast with his brother that the NFL is overdoing it with how much they're televising her at the games and covering her attendance. They talked a little about how, like, basketball and baseball have, like, figured it out. Like, they'll kind of show you a celebrity once and then just resume the game. But the NFL is, like, not used to having celebrities, I guess. And so they're saying, like, they just, like, can't stop, which is, like, true. I mean, I don't know. I think it's hard because on one hand, yeah, you're overdoing it a little when you change your bio every time, when you're marking dates that she went to NFL games in your bio. Like, the NFL is really playing this up. But I also think, and I will also get your opinion on this next part too, but I also just think that, like, Taylor Swift is not any celebrity. So, like,
Right.
if Kylie Jenner was at an NFL game, she might be panned to once. But, like,
Right.
this idea that Taylor Swift is, like, just a singer at this point, when she is, like, the most famous person, or at least woman, in the world, is, like, a little absurd. Like, it's a little different, you know?
Well, like, the idea that she's just a singer and the idea that she's just watching the game.
Right.
That's not why we're interested, because she went to a football game.
Yeah, and I do
It's
think...
like the speculation of it all.
Yeah, and I do think they should televise her less. I think she should get to just enjoy games. I think she should get to just hang out with his family. That's fine. But the people that are saying, like, that are comparing it to other celebrities, like, it's just not really the same. Like...
Yeah, I agree.
I was also talking to my husband last night about, on Instagram, all of this shit. And I get people are doing it to be funny. But they'll, like, say to their husband, like, isn't that so cool Taylor Swift put Travis Kelce on the map? Haha, it's funny. He was already on the map. We get it. That's just to piss men off. Just to piss off football fans. Haha, whatever. But these men will, like, truthfully argue as though he put Taylor Swift on the map, that he's more famous than Taylor Swift. And it's really just, like, I'm not trying to be an ass. Like, we all live in different worlds. Yeah. And, like, you might know Travis Kelce very well. But to pretend that in any way, shape, or form, the tight end of one football team is more famous than essentially the Madonna or Michael Jackson of our time is absurd. Yeah. That's like, crazy
she's
talk.
Trying to save her failing music career. I'm like, she saved the entire economy.
Yeah.
With her tour.
Yeah. And, like...
she's fine.
Someone else said something about her being in it for money or something, and they were like, she could wipe her ass with his $12 million a year salary. Like, she's fine. Like, it's, like... Yeah. I just think... I'm fine with her, like, that is so cool, them dating, great, whatever. But, like, to sit here and act like it's a matter of opinion, which one of them is more famous, you're tripping out your ass.
Yeah. I really like him for her from what I've seen. I also feel like, and I think this lends itself to the fact that she's clearly more famous than him, I do think that, like, she should be able to go and enjoy the game and not have the whole broadcast be about her.
Yeah.
But I also think that, like, the way the Chiefs, like, social media is utilizing it is, like, so great for marketing. Like, a lot of their captions now have been, like, Taylor Swift lyrics. When they did, like, the, like, ESPN, I think, promo for the Chiefs versus Jets game was, like, set to Welcome to New York.
Yeah.
Like, they're utilizing that in a good way for them. And again, like, it's because, like, literally any other industry right now is utilizing Taylor Swift and the Eras Tour as a marketing strategy. And, like, would that have made a whole lot of sense for the NFL leading up to this? Like, no.
Right.
They could have maybe used, like, references, but, like, they have hit a jackpot of marketing ploys. Like, of course they're going to utilize that because, like, people are talking about going to football games just to see Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, like, for his side of it, I think he's more saying, like, they're taking advantage of her for marketing. They're showing her so much. She just wants to come see me play. She just wants to come to games, kind of get off her ass. But I think then people on Instagram or people wherever are taking it like, ugh, I'm so sick of seeing her. Like, I just want to see football. I'm so sick. Like, why are they even doing that? People, and they're, like, making statements that aren't true. People watching football don't care about her. That is not true, dude. Like, the amount of people that love Taylor Swift that probably love football, like, the fraction of that, probably pretty small. But the amount of people who like football that also listen to Taylor Swift, Come on now. Like,
yeah.
Like,
and it's fun to, like, to speculate and, like, see it play out. I do really like him for her, and I think part of it is the people who are saying, like, how different he is from Joe Alwyn.
Yeah.
In, like, the fact that he is really successful in his career.
Yeah.
But it is a different, like
right.
world from her career. And, like, Joe Alwyn, in my opinion, is very unsuccessful in his career, and is also in, like, similar industry.
Yeah.
And so, like, I think that, like, yeah, he doesn't give two shits if they're focusing on her right now, because that has no effect on his ability to do his job and do it well. Like, if they're spending half of the broadcast looking at who's in the Chiefs box with her, like, he's not even watching at that time. He's playing, and he can still play well. And so, like, yeah, I think that it doesn't have anything to do with, like, oh, well, I wish they would pay more attention to me. Like, because the coverage is not really what he's in it for.
Right.
He's, like, playing a game.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know what the coverage is when he's playing the game.
Right. Yeah.
Whereas, like, Joe Alwyn would get asked about Taylor Swift, and he would just walk off and not respond.
Yeah.
I also like this. People say, like, she's going to have to marry him because of this idea that she was with someone for so long who, like, wasn't who she was, like, needed him to be and, like, commit to, and then she dated someone that everybody fucking hates, and now she's got, like, the chillest person on earth.
Yeah.
Today, like, obviously she's going to marry him. Yeah. I love that idea.
Yeah.
That theory that, like, you date the wrong person for too long, and then you date a weirdo, and then you find your person.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, yeah, I do think that is, like, honestly, not, like, good for her, because I think for her it doesn't really matter. Like,
right.
She could date Joe Alwyn and he have a messy-ass career and no success. But, like, I think that he was jealous of her in that way. Yeah. And she won't have that here.
Yeah. I did start watching Catching Kelce, Travis Kelce's 2016 dating show. It is so cringy. But I must say, it's, like, nice to get to, like, know who Taylor Swift is possibly dating, right? We don't know shit about Joe Alwyn as a person.
Right.
And we don't, like, really get to know any celebrities or whatever in that way. So getting to watch him date people, I'm like, oh, wait, I can see why that works now. And I get that's, like, 7 years ago, so it's, like, different. But it's still, like, I'm watching him dancing and, like, being a freaking weirdo and dressing up as, like, Richard Simmons or somebody. I don't know if that's who it was. Dressing up as somebody. And so I'm just like, this is a goofy guy. Like, how funny, how cute is he? Like, it's real weird, though, because it's, like, pageant style. So it's 50 women from all 50 states, and they call them for a large... We're only on episode 2, but for a large part of the first 2 episodes, they are just called by their states.
Oh. That is weird.
Yeah. But also, he's, like, the host. Like, there's not, like, a host. Like, he just does everything.
I like the SNL skit that's been going around of him at the American Doll Cafe.
I haven't seen it.
It's funny. It's, like, also, like, just, like... Because, I mean, he's acting, but, like, fun to see him, like, enjoy himself. And, like, be successful and, like, have, like, funny, like, videos of him online.
Yeah.
And, like, I feel like I've seen a lot of people talking about this ex-girlfriend who is, like, just absolutely trying to annihilate him online right now. She said, like, he cheated on her, like, once a cheater, always a cheater, that he, like, just is not a good person. He's a narcissist, like, all this stuff. And I don't know, like, what their relationship was like, but it seems like maybe that is a different version of him.
Yeah.
And because, like, of how strongly it seems like he's trying to woo Taylor, and, like, how all in he is for her, like, the 1989 outfit.
But did you see later they renamed it after he wore it with her? So technically, it wasn't called... Well, people thought but, like, he bought it because it was called that. Oh. But anyway.
But, like, still, like, I think that, like...
The vibes were still there.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I think that, like, the, like, renting out a restaurant, taking her in this really cool-ass car, like, letting her sit with his mom. Like, I feel like he's working really hard to impress her and, like, to make her feel, like, special. And I think that's wonderful. But I also, like, see people who are like, how can you go from this to this? Like, talking about his ex-girlfriend. I've seen people, like, saying, like, but Taylor Swift has no ass. Like, okay. She's, like, the most successful person in the fucking world.
Yeah. I think that...
Who cares?
She could buy an ass times 100 if she wanted, so...
If she wanted an ass, she'd have one.
They can work that out later, if that's also, that like, important to him.
The picture people were using to compare was, like, in the 1989 era.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah.
And, like,
of course she didn't.
Pictures of her in her lover bodysuit.
Yeah.
Girl has an ass.
Yeah.
She's doing fine.
Yeah. A Barstool podcast host named Dan Katz, on an episode of Pardon My Take, said that he will not believe the dating rumors until he sees a sex tape of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Which, to your point earlier, why will you not believe them? They're doing it right in front of us.
Yeah.
Not doing it, thank you, but dating.
They don't have to be fucking...
To be dating.
Yeah, they don't have to be fucking in your face for you to confirm that they're dating.
Yeah.
Like, I, for one, have never had a sex tape, but it doesn't really take a lot for people to think that I'm married to my husband.
Yeah.
Because we're obviously married. But also, like, doesn't surprise me for that to come from a Barstool Sports podcast host. Barstool Sports is gross. But, you know.
Yeah. Fans obviously didn't like this, and actress Rachel Zegler came out saying how disgusting this is, because it is. Also, not related to Travis Kelce, but just cute. Taylor Swift has been letting Sophie Turner and her children stay in her home in New York during her divorce with Joe Jonas.
That's nice.
That's nice. On to Love is Blind.
Yes.
I just wanted to say, Dana Moon on Instagram, her videos imitating the contestants have been so funny. So funny. And also it's, like, nice for me to see someone else, because I'm like, oh, okay, they read that exactly the way I read that.
Yeah. I'm, like, behind. I just started it the other day, so I feel like you're about to spoil
I am.
Several things for me. But
no one's married yet,
so far, well, that's good, I guess. So far, my opinions are, if I saw 2 American flag outfits in a row, that would be my time to peace out. I don't understand. The whole time I've been watching this, I've been thinking, now how does a kindergarten teacher in Texas put up with someone who is, like, so clearly a Republican? It's like, public education, especially in Texas, is very political.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's gotta be some kind of, like, not, like, just foundationally a
Mm-hmm.
disagreement.
Yeah.
But yeah, after the second American flag outfit, I would have been out. I do think that, like, JP and Taylor are very awkward together, but I feel like where I'm at right now, she's, like, saying that he's just not, like, engaging conversation, but I don't really feel like she is either.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like she will ask him, like, a really, like quick answer question, like, what do you want to do today? And he's like, I don't know. Maybe we could do this. And then she's like, well, he's not talking to me. And I'm like, yeah, but, like, you're not really asking him, like, deep stuff that he needs to talk for a long time about.
But I
he's
think
also not doing that.
Yeah, I think if it feels like pulling teeth to ask someone what they want to do, it doesn't really leave you inclined to ask them deep questions. And I feel like it was, like, torturous to see her say, like, how are you feeling? And he's like, good.
Yeah.
And, like, no, technically, he doesn't know her more than that. He did answer the question. However, come on now. You're in love. You're in love with me. You don't have anything else. Good. I love the beach. Good, but I hate being hot. Nothing.
Yeah, watching them interact, and then we were talking about the American flag shirts, and my husband said, that man is autistic. Which I think, honestly, like, that's my husband's opinion on everything.
Yeah.
Which he can be, because he's autistic.
Sure.
But yeah, he's like the routine of the same outfit every fucking day. The inability to understand that his wife wants him, or his fiance wants him, to have a deeper conversation if she's not explicitly saying it, or she does explicitly say it, and then by the time it comes back around, he's forgotten about it.
Yeah.
He's like, which, like, possible.
Yeah.
But I also think I tend to not give people who only wear American flag apparel the benefit of the doubt, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
That's on me, maybe.
I also think his fiance didn't really need him to have deep conversations. She just needed him to speak.
Yeah.
Right. But yes, I said that from the jump and stand by it.
Yeah.
When a man tells you, straight up tells you, most of my wardrobe is red, white, and blue, get out.
Yeah.
Get out, girl.
I could not handle it. We were trying to figure out how, in the scene where he's got the American flag handkerchief, how it first seemed to, like, shrink when he was using it, and then he was done crying, and suddenly it was, like, perfectly folded in the same position as before he was crying, and, like, flat again. The American flag things are distracting.
Yeah.
But other opinions I have, I really like Melton. And originally, I really liked that him and Lydia were both so into rocks.
Mm-hmm.
But then, when I realized their age difference, I was like, no, like, these people need to not be together.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw, like, a preview where Milton's family was like, what business does a 30-year-old woman have with a 24-year-old? Like, and I kind of agree. And I feel like I feel like she is also uncomfortable by the age difference, but she's trying to force it to make it work with him, to, like, prove that, like, that they are in love, that this is who she's supposed to be with, that it's working and everything. And I feel like she is uncomfortable with how young he is and how young he looks.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, girl, like, it's okay if you realize, like, you know what, I don't think that it hit me while I was in the pods what being 24 years old means for him. And now that I'm out, I realize that, and I don't think I want to be with a 24-year-old. Like, that's okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I would want to be with a 24-year-old. And I'm only 26. So.
Yeah.
It is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But I think there's, I also, if I were Aaliyah, I would have stopped communicating with Uche after he was so shitty about her having cheated before.
Yeah.
I'm glad that she left. Also, it was nice to see that somebody got to leave.
Yeah. Not trapped there.
Good for them. Thank you, Love is Blind.
Yeah, people were showing all the food that they showed on camera. Just like feasts of food in the room, and they were like, okay, Love is Blind, we get it.
Yeah. We get it. But yeah, I honestly, like, I think Uche is just straight up an asshole. Like, he is such, like, a mansplainer, I feel like, and, like, I don't know, I just don't like him.
Yeah.
In general.
Okay, let me catch you up.
Yeah. Okay.
I think your opinions are, old. So, JP...
I'm old. I'm on the...
JP turns out to be an ass. Woo, big
Obviously.
shot. 2 black girls and 1 rose put it well that he's giving incel vibes. And I have to agree. He tells Taylor that the reason he's acting differently on their honeymoon and that he has not spoken to her for 4 days is that she wore too much makeup at their initial reveal. That her
She's literally so fucking cute.
That her face was so caked up, which I feel like you knew from the beginning because they were sitting there and she said to him, like, she said something like, I have on fake lashes, and he said, like, oh, really? I couldn't tell. Like, super smartass. And she said, really? You couldn't tell? And he said, no, I can tell. And then
it's obvious.
Yeah, and then when they got to Mexico, he was like, oh, I like seeing your freckles. Like, I feel like he was making it kind of clear. But obviously she didn't know how big of a deal or that this was the reason.
Right.
He was now not talking.
Right.
Just to be clear, Taylor was not wearing any more makeup than the average person who is going to be on TV and meeting the love of their life for the first time to get engaged would wear.
Right.
And he said he was just afraid when he saw her that was going to be a regular thing.
And if it is, that's okay.
But also, like you don't want to give
Taylor,
it a day to find out?
Yeah. She's so freaking cute, and I feel like it's very clear that she seems like a girly girl.
Yeah.
You know? And so, like, she likes makeup, and that is okay.
I also felt like if that's
I don't think she looks that much different without it.
Yeah, I also just felt like if that was such a big deal for you and you knew that, like, I don't like women who wear a lot of makeup, then it seems like the type of thing that would come up in the pods that you would say, like, I tend to like a more natural look, or when y'all are talking about meeting, like, you could say to her, like, you know, I really want to get to see what you look like. Wear your makeup how you normally do, or I like a more natural look and that's how I want to meet you. But, like, to expect that she just, like, oh my god.
Girls! Can you put Cherry up? Sorry, I'm just trying to help.
She said, no, I'll stop. Mom, listen, I'm so quiet now. But to think that she just, like, would know what you're into is, like, silly. But obviously they broke up. Good for her.
Yeah.
Skedaddle.
I also think that's such, like, an incel thing to say.
Yeah.
Like,
he said 99% of women would take this as a compliment that they look better without makeup. Where did you get that statistic? No, they don't. Where did you get that statistic?
Yeah.
Andrew Tate? He's lying to you.
Right.
Now, the major drama is with Uche and Lydia. And Aaliyah, I guess. So, I guess technically the major drama could be with Uche and Aaliyah, but really I feel like it's with Uche and Lydia. So
Yeah.
I'm actually going to focus on the way that we cannot trust this show and we cannot trust editing. And so that's why I made the face I did when you said it seemed like Taylor wasn't talking either. Honestly, I love Love is Blind. I think it's entertaining as hell. But I am about done if nothing I'm watching is real. So,
yeah.
On the show, Uche and Aaliyah meet back up after Aaliyah left the pods abruptly. They meet up for lunch, where Aaliyah says she regrets leaving, she wants to get back together, but Uche says that he doesn't. But he later posted on Instagram that that was a soundbite that they added after, and that in fact, at that lunch, him and Aaliyah held hands, they had their first kiss, and they agreed to continue seeing each other, at least for a little bit.
It's wild that he was able to put that on Instagram.
Well, yeah, people were like, this man do not care about his NDA.
No, like no one in Bachelor Nation would ever put something like that on Instagram.
Yeah. Now, I mean, back to kind of what you said, like, I do think Uche is an ass. So, I guess take all of this with a grain of salt, but, and this may be an unpopular opinion between the two of us, I do believe him. There's a lot of stuff that continues throughout this season that he is accusing Lydia of, and like I do believe Uche. So
I don't like her.
Yeah. So also on the show, Uche and Lydia have an argument once they have their like big group meetup, where Uche brings receipts of Lydia stalking other girls on Instagram, and by this I mean these girls that Uche followed all started realizing that this woman they did not know was watching their stories. So they started sending to him, who is this woman? We don't know her. I think you dated her. Why is she watching our stories? She also apparently at one point drove by his house and took a picture and said, "I see you." To which she does cop to. She just says, that's not how it happened. Like, something like I just happened to be there. Like, I don't know. Whatever. Lydia basically says that he's exaggerating on all of those things. What does it matter if she's watching people's stories? We have mutual friends. Blah, blah, blah. She then accuses him and then tells the whole group that he cheated on her, that he had sex with someone else while they were together. But he denies that they were ever in an exclusive relationship, which was also the understanding that and I think most viewers had, was that they were not in an exclusive relationship. Also,
I think he would say I've dated Lydia, and Lydia would say my ex is here.
Yeah. Also on Instagram, he said, Lydia and I were never together. We dated for a short time, and we were both seeing other people. In the casting process, we were asked to disclose our most recent relationships. If she believed we were in one, she would have disclosed my name or photo, and producers would not have allowed us on the same show. Which I also think is fair.
Yeah. I think, it's so... I do believe him. I think it's kind of clear in the way she speaks to Aaliyah about Uche. Even after Aaliyah has specifically asked her to stop.
Please don't tell me stuff about him.
Right. Yeah. Is kind of indicative that she maybe is a little bit obsessed with him.
Yeah. And
I think Aaliyah had a fair point when she came in and she was like, so are you telling me you want to get back together with Lydia? And he was like, no. That's how Lydia made it sound to her.
Well, and Lydia also... Yeah, Lydia, we watched the tape where she said, should we start from scratch? And he said, that's not how the show works. And then she went to Aaliyah and said, he wanted to start over, but I told him that's not how the show works. And she basically, flipped it. So, I think people read her from the jump. It doesn't help that Uche is kind of an asshole, but someone else on Instagram asked, do you really think Lydia followed you there? And he replied, 100% confirmed. I brought up Instagram because this was the method. More on this later. So, that's going to be a fun reunion. Now, more on things that were edited out of the show. So, the internet is saying that there were quite a few couples who got engaged on the show. Obviously, don't have proof of this, although one is pretty clear. So, Jared and Estefania, Enoch, and Erica, Josh and Paige, and then Carter and Renee, who people realized Renee was wearing an engagement ring during the group meetup scene that I talked about. Renee also posted on her story while the Mexico episodes were airing and said something about a vacay, but it's her on a beach with a Love is Blind goblet. Looks like the Mexico beach. So, apparently Carter and Renee not only got engaged, but they actually went to Mexico and were like fully filmed as one of the couples in Mexico, but then were edited out.
Yeah. That's so weird.
I know. It does not make any sense to me. So to start, we only had 3 engaged couples this season.
Right.
And then JP and Taylor. Yes.
We talked about, like, Monica and Josh not being shown, maybe because they only had room for 5. But that was, like, my first thought when I realized there were only 3. I was like...
that sucks.
Are you telling me that really no one else got engaged? And, like, that's really unfortunate. But, like, it's weird that people did, and they're just choosing not to show. Like, I get if some couples are boring.
Yeah.
But, like just showing 3 is not really
a
lot.
Some couples are boring, but you're showing me Izzy and Stacy? Like,
right.
What? So, after JP and Taylor broke up, we've only been watching 2 couples. That's it. That's all we've got.
Right.
Also, Johnny and Chris are basically pulling a Bliss and Zach. They met each other's parents. They're, like, doing the whole thing, but they're not really showing them until the whole group meetup when they have a fight with people. But I just, like, also, like, actual engagement. I just don't get why you wouldn't show us, even if you want to show us engagements and then show them end or whatever. Like, that is good TV. Right. I don't understand that.
Right. I don't get it. I think you're right. Like, that if we're not getting, like, what is actually happening, what is the point of watching this as a form of reality TV? Like, write a show then. Write a fiction show. Right.
The rumor about Renee and Carter is that she had another relationship the whole time that production found out about, and that's why they didn't want to show their parts. To which, again, I say, like, wouldn't that make good TV? Like, I don't understand. People have boyfriends all the time on Bachelor, and that's the best part.
Right.
Like, what? Also, the reason people think this... Oh, wait. No. So, fans did find out that they had a marriage license issued. And I just got to the episode where the other couples picked up their licenses. And that was like 3 days before the wedding. So, presumably, Renee and Carter made it to like 3 days before their wedding. Got their marriage license. But it was later returned, meaning that one or both of them did not go through with the marriage.
Which, again, would be
good TV.
Television.
Right, especially...
If you break up 3 days before your wedding, I want to know why.
We literally watched Paul grab a bridesmaid's ass, or supposedly, and that made some of the best TV we've ever seen.
I've never seen TikTok so torn up.
Yeah.
Clearly there's something, like, I feel like 3 days before... It's not just like maybe we shouldn't do this. Yeah, I agree.
They may have gotten all the way to the altar. They may have gotten all the way to the altar and said no to each other, but then they found out she had a relationship, and so they cut it, and that is so weird to me.
Yeah, that's nuts. Like, get your Bachelor Nation breakup blue on. Yeah. Tape him finding out she had a boyfriend, and give us something interesting.
Yeah. So the reason people think that she had a boyfriend is because, according to records, she did get married less than a year later. It also doesn't mean anything. Like, she could have met up with an ex. She could just be quick. She was about to marry this guy in 6 weeks. Why not marry someone else less than a year later? I don't really know.
Yeah, that's funny logic for people who watch Love is Blind to be like, they obviously were already together. Yeah. They got married.
But what I watched today is that while they're wedding dress shopping, now keep in mind, the only people wedding dress shopping are Stacy and Lydia. That's all we got now. But during this, Renee is wearing white, which seems weird if you were going wedding dress shopping with your friend. She also seems to be sitting next to a mom who's not introduced as anyone else's mom, but they introduce her as one of Lydia's guests, and then put under her name, like, Pod Squad, but they, like, say, who's here with you? But what's weird is you don't see Lydia's mouth say Renee. You hear Renee, and then they cut to Renee. So, like, I don't know that, like, it's probably a soundbite. It's probably,
that's so weird.
That's so weird. So she went wedding dress shopping, is my guess, with her mom, is in the videos, and they just cut her parts with the dress and pretended that she was there as Lydia's friend. But it's like, why is she wearing white? That's a shitty friend. You're making her look bad that she wore white to her friend's wedding dress shopping.
I just, like, don't get it. Like,
I don't get it.
I don't understand, like, why they do all of that. Yeah, I don't know. It's so weird.
There is also a fun theory that I saw on Instagram today. There doesn't seem to be any basis, but I still think I would believe it, that when Izzy showed Stacy his home, that it was actually an Airbnb. And they believe this because of the strange, like, welcome to this home, Vino, Hobby Lobby girly decor that he has everywhere. And now I would assume he might own up to this because the paper plates caused a large fight. But it was paper plates and cups, and someone later said, like, that would make sense if it's an Airbnb, which is true. But she was pissed about the paper plate. So at that point, I might have said, they're not mine. They're not mine. Although probably worse.
I don't actually live here.
Probably worse to say this is not my house.
I lied to you.
Oh, yeah. So then, more Izzy stuff. TMZ reported seeing Izzy with a girl in California who is not Stacy, getting pretty physically comfortable. Rumors have started that girl could be Micah, which would be crazy.
That's exactly what Izzy needs.
Yeah.
Chaos.
Yeah. Also, Erica from the show, who we don't see much of, but is one of those people that presumably got engaged. She posted a story on Instagram in a car with Izzy where he sang into the camera, "Can't go 50-50 with no hoe," after he and Stacy fought about going 50-50 for dinners. So, anything else on Love is Blind?
I don't think so. I just think it's like, I really do not understand, like, the logic there. I do think it's funny in, like, the first episode when Nick and Vanessa came in and the girls were like, oh my god, mom and dad, and they were like, y'all are calling us mom and dad? I was like, y'all call yourselves that. Why are you being, like, stop, like, you love it, you're eating it up, cut it out. But, like, yeah, I don't understand, but I also don't understand a lot of the stuff that they do on Love is Blind.
Yeah.
It doesn't make no fucking sense.
Yeah.
And I do think, on one hand, though, it's kind of fun to, like, for the internet to run rampant with, like, questions and, like, try to figure out what the hell is going on in their brains for Love is Blind.
Yeah.
But, like, I would really rather just see the drama play out, please.
Yeah.
Like,
especially if you're gonna fucking try to show it to me at After the Altar. Like, come on.
Yeah. Listen to us.
Yeah. On to Big Brother real quick this time. So, I did see someone interview Jared post leaving the house about his feelings, about how he played, and what fans think of him. He did apologize about what he said about America. He apologized to Matt and to the entire disabled community. And I did see someone, which is, like, fair, say that, like, whether you believe him or not, like, there's just nothing else he can do, you know?
Right.
But apologize, so, like, cool. Like, I don't have to be friends with Jared, but
yeah,
I mean, whatever. On Thursday, for the live eviction, the house flips and votes Mimi out. Originally, it seemed that the plan was to vote out Felicia, but they decided Mimi was more of a competition threat. I think, and this is fair too, but I think more likely than not, they just realized, like, Felicia's gonna keep being a target because she's gonna keep doing stupid shit. As she leaves, Mimi tells everyone that Corey, America, and Bowie have an alliance. She said a lot of things. She said, like, and they're coming for you, and they're using you, but she was, like, pointing, and we couldn't see her. So,
yeah. My husband was, like, saying that it's wild to think that Mimi is, like, he was like, I keep forgetting Mimi's on this show. So, like, is she really a bigger competition threat? I said, that's how bad Felicia is at competition.
Yeah, but it's like Cameron.
Like, it's not that, like, Mimi's just this comp beast. She, like, just is simply better.
Yeah, but I think,
either
like,
of them are great.
On the one hand, Felicia has a better social game because Mimi doesn't really exist in the house. But on the other hand, because of Felicia's constant talking, she's kind of, like, ruining herself. So it is, like, kind of nice to keep someone like that in the house. But I don't know. I mean, whatever. At this point, like, people gotta go, so.
Yeah.
In a turn of events, the HOH is tied at the end between Bowie and Felicia. And good God, Bowie first puts that the amount of minutes that Jared was in the house for multiple days was 27 minutes. He was there for at least a day, right? Or multiple, like 2 days?
Jared?
When he came back as a zombie?
Oh, when he came back. Yeah, they were there for, I think, about a week.
27 minutes, she guessed. But because Felicia took so long, although Bowie would have won anyway, but because Felicia took so long, Bowie got to add a 6 to that, which was slightly less embarrassing. Given that the total...
I think that's the strategy, though, is just to be the one with the lowest number you can win.
Yeah. Yeah, it was 10,000. Felicia had put, like, 49,000. So even at 600, Bowie still won. But no one was close.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
It's absolutely wild that Bowie won, though. Like, just... She's another one that I forget is in the house.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah.
And it seems like nobody in the house really likes her, so I'm interested to see how that goes.
I'm excited because it feels like we're playing Big Brother, you know, like things are changing quickly, they're flipping votes, people are winning that you didn't expect. And I also think after Mimi dropped that bomb, it'll be fun to see where Bowie's allegiances are, like who is what is she gonna do?
I have not noticed her being aligned with them.
Yeah. Yeah, but they don't show anything really. Like, I don't know. According to live feed updates, it looks like she will be putting up Suri and Felicia. But she is hinting at there being a bigger move. I don't know if that'll be like Cameron.
I would love to see Bowie, like, absolutely wreck this house.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. And that's all she wrote, folks.
Yeah.
Meaning that's all I wrote, folks.
Yeah, I didn't write a lot.
Okay, see ya Friday for more Cecil Hotel.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Next time on the Housewife Did It, May will tell Katie the story of Richard Ramirez and his affiliation with the Cecil Hotel.